Hey everyone, it's Michelle, the Crazy Homemaker. I'm going to show you today how I prick out the plants whenever I pot them up into going into my outdoor garden. What I'm using right now is the Expert Gardener potting mix from the big box store down the street, and I have I think they're, what does it say? 9 ounce cups, and I put a piece of painter's tape on there so that I could write on there. And if I move it to a bigger pot, all I have to do is take off the painter's tape, because I put a little nibble on the end here, and pull that off and put it on the bigger pot, so I don't have to waste painter's tape and I don't have to keep doing it over and over again. So right now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Hold on a second, let me go grab a pot here. Okay, these are my Better Boys that I had planted. I don't remember which brand they are. I think they're from either Fairy Morse or just from Dollar Tree or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but they have some nice leaves on them, and they've got their second set of leaves coming up, and I'll be pulling them. I'll be taking this out. I'll show you how I'll do this in a minute. So all I do is get the solo cup. I put cuts in the bottom of the sides of the solo cups. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, there they go. There's the cuts, a couple of cuts there. I'll write on here that they're Better Boys. And I'll do that and show you one first. So I have these plants here. I hold my finger over the edge of them to take them out and lay them down so that I could pull them apart. And here they are. There's 3 plants. If I need to move them, I pull them by the first set of leaves that they've gotten. Fill up my pot here, but I'm going to plant them deep. So I put a big deep hole in there and plant that in as far as I can get it. Top it off with some fresh soil. I usually moisten the soil. I'm not going to moisten it today because it's pretty moist out of the bag. I'll give it some water later. And by planting it deep, you get more root system on a tomato plant, because tomato plants, if you ever noticed that if they had lay down on the ground, the roots will start growing out of the stem that's laying on the ground. So it doesn't hurt them one bit to plant them deep. One down. So once again, fill it up pretty good. Deep hole. Pick it up by the baby leaves. Drop it in as deep as you can. You could even fill it up to the leaves here, and I'll show you. I'll probably do that on this one because it's deep enough. Tamp it down a little bit. Add a little more soil, and they're ready to go outside. And when I'm done doing all of my plants, then I will show you what I've got. See you in a bit. Next one I have is beefsteak. And yes, I overplant because I never know how much I'm going to get out of how many seeds I plant. But my tomato plants usually always take off. I'll be sharing some of these with the neighbor, because he was kind enough to help us out a lot this year. This winter we had a little bit of an issue, and he was right there to help us. So I'm going to give him some of our tomato plants. And he had a nice garden last year, and he shared his tomatoes with us, and they were so good. See you in a bit. I was just sitting here thinking while I was planting these beefsteaks that if by chance you should break one of your plants, off at the stem. Still plant it. Like I said, the roots will come from the stem, and that's how I took my my cutting from yesterday for the tiny Tim tomato that I'm going to put in hydroponics. These ones are all going out into the garden because the ones that I planted beefsteak for my husband for the hydroponic this winter, and that's the crispy one that I don't have the heart to throw out. So give it a shot. If you're going to throw it out, you're going to throw it out. If it's not going to grow, it's not going to grow. But my idea is give it a half of a chance, and you just might be surprised. Okay, later. Okay, the next one I'm doing, it only takes me about 5 minutes to do all those tomatoes. Tim's tomato. Tim is my neighbor, and these are the seeds I saved from the tomatoes that he gave us last year. They were absolutely wonderful. There was not a blemish on them. They were nice and round and big, and I don't know what kind they were, and I'm hoping they're not a hybrid because they won't be true to the seed. But hey, it's worth a try. I'm going to give him some of his own seed back, so he'll have some of his tomato plants and a couple of other ones that I've grown and all that. And I need to come clean on this potting mix. This potting mix here, as you could see, has a lot of perlite in it. I did the 1 bag of the potting mix, and I amended it with more perlite because there's not enough perlite in it, and it came really wet, and I just like to have a lot of perlite in my mixes. So that's what that's how I do my soil. And I've been using this Expert Gardener from Walmart for quite a few years, and I like it. It's kind of safe. It has some chunks of sticks in it, but they're not anything that's gonna bother the plant's roots. And I think that's going to be it for now until I could think of another good tip for you. See you in a bit. Okay, one of these doesn't have holes in the bottom, so I'll show you how I clip that. I just take a pair of scissors, go around the edge, clip off 3 sides. These pieces fly everywhere, but that's all I do. That's how I do it. I don't know if you can see how deep I plant these. Pretty deep, almost up to the leaves there. And I also leave a little rim of soil down below the rim of the cup. That way I can water from the top on the first one, and then the second and the subsequent waterings go from a tray on the bottom one. I have good luck doing that so I don't rot the stem. Here's what I'm talking about with the putting the painter's tape on there. I broke this one. This is recycled. So all I got to do is take that off of there, put it on a clean cup, and we're good to go. Throw that one away. Cut my little holes. All good. See you in a minute. I don't know if you can tell, but I am so excited to get an outdoor garden going too. I'll leave my lettuces and radishes and some other leafy greens in the basement in the hydroponics, because where we live there's a ton of deer. I have 7 to 8 deer coming into my yard eating from the bird feeders every single night. And I'm just so excited. The birds are out today. I heard woodpeckers making nests in the trees. They were beating on the trees there, the dead hollow trees. I heard the Canadian geese. They're coming back. The robins are everywhere. They're back in droves now. I've had a small bird, probably a finch or a sparrow or something, building in my gas tank cover. I had before they got anything started there. I had to remove that. Otherwise we'll never be able to get our gas filled. And turkeys. Oh, I saw a beautiful turkey, a beautiful tom with a full spread on his tail feathers today, and he was looking for his girlfriend, obviously. And I heard one down over the hill today whenever I took the dogs out to go to the bathroom this morning. It's just so nice to have the warm weather again. And I got all kinds of bulbs growing outside. I don't know what kind of stuff is here from the previous owner. I'm learning. I think she has irises, and I know there was a hyacinth, one of those beautiful big hyacinth bulbs coming up. My rhubarb is coming up. I inherited from the previous owner. The rhubarb's up. Let's see what else. Hyacinth. Crocus. I never had crocuses in my life. Or grape hyacinths, the little itty bitty ones. But I am totally enjoying that. Next one I have is Abe Lincoln. I don't know if any of you have heard of that one. I saw another farmer, Roots and Refuge, that's where it was from, on YouTube. And she grew Abe Lincoln, and it turned out really well for her. Well, I had received this from Baker Creek Seeds as a free gift. So the Abe Lincoln, I tried it, and they were really nice tomato, nice slicing tomato. So planting them again this year. Next one is called Hillbilly. It's an heirloom tomato, and it is a nice big red slicer as well. I can hardly wait for these ones too. I think I got, well, when we were in South Carolina, I could not grow much to save my life because the soil was totally different than what we had here in Pennsylvania where I grew up. And so what we're really hoping for is that the old thoughts of how we were growing come back and help us out to grow some really nice tomatoes so I can can some up for the winter time. And we can have nice slicers for meals and, you know, side dishes. Instead of regular salad, we could have a nice big tomato to slice up and have with our dinners. But that's Hillbilly. I did get some couple nice ones off of the plants I had in South Carolina, and it's, like I said, it's an heirloom, so give it a try if you want a nice tomato. I just thought of something else. All of these tomatoes are indeterminate. They are going to need staked up. I don't know if I'll use a cattle fence this year, but I might, because it's a little bit cooler up here than it was in South Carolina. In South Carolina, I burnt my plants by staking them to cattle fence. That was not a very good thing. I was wondering why they were withering and dying. They had enough water, they had enough everything, but they just started crapping out. And when it got to be like 105 degrees down there, they didn't like it. They just started burning. So I don't know if I'll be putting the tomato plants on a stake. I know they'll be in a cage first, but I don't know if I'll be putting them on a stake or on a cattle fence. I'll have to figure that one out. I know I'll be putting my green beans on a cattle fence, have pole beans, and that will be really nice. They do really well. I'll have a hydroponic pot outside for the green beans, and I'll have in the ground for the green beans too. Next one is red pear. I don't know if any of you have tried a pear tomato. Indeterminate, it needs staked, but they get to be a nice salad tomato, little, small salad sized tomato that you could put, or cherry, a little bit bigger than a cherry tomato. They're a pear tomato that I just love eating them. They are very prolific. whenever I was in working, I had extra yellow pear tomato plants, and I gave some to a guy that I worked with because he had a farm. And he says, hey, if you got any plants left over, I'll take them. You know, I'll pay you for them. I said, well, no, you don't have to pay me. I'll just be glad to get rid of them because I have so many. So I brought them in, and into November and December, he was still getting yellow pear tomatoes from his plants. He says, when do they die? When do they die? I said, well, mine are dead already. He goes, but mine keep giving me tomatoes, and I hate to pull them out. And I said, well, don't pull them out. Just let them go until the cold gets them. He was really pleased with those. I am pleased with them. My husband likes the slicers. So, but he doesn't complain whenever he has some nice tomatoes in his salads and things like that. So all is good. All is good. Red pear. The yellow pear is good as well. Last but not least is a thing of bunching onions. I have them up already, and here's how I'm going to do it. Place that right here in this bigger pot. Tamp this all down. I don't have many more seconds left for this video, so I'm going to pause you right here. Okay, the pot is in there. Pull the pot out. It leaves a nice hole, and I'm literally going to